My next guest holding out hope that the negotiations will resolve the budget impasse, but he says Speaker Boehner's position has been long-standing. Congressman Thaddeus McCotter, Republican from Michigan, also the author of the new book, the terrific new book, Seize Freedom, joining us live tonight from Capitol Hill. Congressman, I know you're voting, you're busy as you can be. Thanks for spending some time with us. The president rushing back to Washington from New York, Speaker Boehner, Majority Leader Reid getting together. I mean, this is dramatic stuff. You think something will happen tonight?
Well, it's a decided possibility. As you laid out earlier, Lou, since lame duck when he was Speaker designate, John Boehner has said he thinks it would be wrong to shut down the government, that we have to try to work together and come up with an agreement that meets the commitment that the Republicans put forward in the elections and that the American people expect. So at the present time, to have them come back and have them discuss, there's a likelihood that they could come up with a deal. But at the present time, we have nothing in writing in front of us, and we continue on the course that we are.
Yeah, let me ask you this. I mean, I understand 87 new members of the House. It is a strong, powerful imperative for the Speaker, for all of you in the Republican Party to deliver on principle. But the number here is sort of overwhelmed, is it not, by Congressman Ryan and your leadership's new budget for 2012. I mean, in my humble opinion, when you talk about reducing federal spending by $6.2 trillion, you've just satisfied a lot of people in the Tea Party, a lot of America, and also intellectually, it seems to me, the responsibilities that you all took on in going to battle over the budget.
Well, Lou, let me put it this way. The American public, according to the Rasmussen polls, believe that if you had a government shutdown that led to deeper spending cuts, they would support it. Mm-hmm. And as far as we go, the resolution for the budget is just that. It's a resolution promising to show what the Republicans would like to do through legislation and further reforms of government. The thing that we have in front of us today are actual real votes to cut real funds from the 2011 budget the Democrats couldn't do when they ran the place. And the fact is, right now, if you can't take care of ensuring to stand on principle, how are you ever going to get done what is in the Ryan budget?
Well, I mean, I think that's a terrific point. And at this point, if you can't, is it really worth? I guess what I'm asking you here is a pragmatic political question, one of pragmatic governance. Is it worth shutting down the federal government over, my calculations work out to a $30 billion difference between where the Republicans are and the Democrats in the 2011 budget, which, by the way, the Democrats, this president, this majority leader, and former Speaker Pelosi should have resolved under their leadership last year. Is it really worth shutting down the government over what amounts to 8/1000ths of the budget? I mean, this is stark stuff, it seems to me.
Well, it's also the first test of the new Republican majority. Are we going to honor what we ran on? Lou, as you know better than anybody, there was an election.
Sure.
Many of the arguments we hear today, there are some of our colleagues who don't seem to. So what you see today are many of the arguments that were put before the American people. Right. They voted for change so that we'd have fiscal responsibility in Washington. Many of us were elected on the platform of doing that, are going to be tested in this to see whether or not we carried through on that. And I just want to put this in, appropriately enough for Washington, a nutshell. All right. Right now, we stand on the precipice of a potential government shutdown for two very simple reasons. The Democrats want to shut down the government for more spending, deficits, and debt, and the Republicans are trying to keep the government open for less spending. We'll let the public decide which they support.
And as you say, as I recall the last election, we had a pretty significant and telling vote on that very issue. Congressman, always good to talk with you. Thaddeus McCotter, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Republican
Lou.
of Michigan.